Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the former two-weight world champion, but more importantly, yesterday's birthday girl. It is, of course, Miss Chantelle Cameron. Chantelle, welcome back on the show and happy birthday for yesterday.
Thank you, and thanks for having me back on. Always a
No
pleasure.
problem. Always a pleasure on my end as well. So, Chantelle, we last spoke back in September. At that time, you were getting ready to rematch Katie Taylor, obviously back in Ireland again. The fight would end in a majority decision again, only this time in Katie's favour. Talk me through the fight if you can, Chantelle.
To be honest, I've actually not watched it back.
Really?
Obviously, at some point I will watch it back, but what I remember of the fight, it was quite messy, a lot of holding, headbutting, obviously the blood, and I don't really want to see my head split open, so that's probably why I've not actually watched it back, because I don't deal with blood very well. So, it was just Katie done what she had to do to win. Was it pretty? I don't think so. And when people were saying it was the best performance that she's had, I think how? Because it was a lot of grabbing my arms and stopping me from boxing, which again, it worked because she got the win and it prevented me from getting my work in. But it's not really boxing, is it? It's more grappling on our feet.
And obviously a video surfaced after the fight showing Jamie Moore, your trainer, specifically telling the referee before the fight to watch for Katie Taylor's use of the head, for the persistent holding that he felt she would do. The referee failed to warn Katie even one time. Jamie Moore knew exactly what she was going to do, Chantelle.
You know what? We prepared for it. Obviously not prepared enough, because in all honesty, I didn't know what to do when she was holding me. I was trying to fight back, and you know what? I was having to put my forearms on her. I was doing everything I could to get out of it, but I just didn't know what I was doing. I'm not trained for that. I'm trained to box and fight, not be held. So it was very annoying. And obviously the headbutt where she bounced off the rope and literally completely headbutted me, where my head split open. How can you avoid that? Like, you just don't prepare for that kind of thing. So obviously, her old opponents, some of her existing opponents, have said to me before, like, watch the head. So the first fight, I was pretty much clued up that there was going to be a few heads and holding and stuff. And obviously the first fight, I didn't actually get cut, which was great, and I got the win. But yeah, the second fight, people will say, oh, she's moaning, she's whinging, blah, blah, blah. That's all I'm hearing. But you know what? If you're in the ring and you're getting headbutted and hold, and it's frustrating. I've got a reason to moan. It's not like I'm moaning because I lost. I've not said one thing about losing. I'm saying how the fight played out. It was a pretty shit fight, wasn't it? Being headbutted and held and stuff like that. So yeah, people can keep saying I'm moaning, I'm whinging. Too right I am, because I'm prepared to fight. I'm not prepared for them sort of tactics.
Yeah, I just think it's important to note, because that video afterwards that we all saw where Jamie was literally telling the referee, it's almost as if the video was recorded after the fight, because he literally described what would happen exactly in the fight.
You know what?
Yeah, go on.
That video, that was when I was getting my hands wrapped.
Exactly.
So we'd already called it. And do you know what the referee said to me? I'm not sure it's on the video. I can't really remember. But no word for lie, the referee said to me, it's my job to protect myself from headbutt. That's his words. That's what he said to me. And what referee says that, really, like, protect myself from headbutt? It was crazy. It was a crazy night. And do you know what? Katie did get the win. Fair play to her. But the fact that we're not running it back just says a lot, doesn't it?
I want to get to that in a sec, but I do want to mention as well, you were also, you wasn't credited with what I felt was a clear knockdown. Did you know during the fight just how bad the referee was, or did you kind of realise it afterwards? I hate to be negative, but I mean, yeah, the referee was a disgrace.
Yeah, it was obviously, when I did land the jab, I don't think I hurt Katie. It wasn't like, oh God, I've caused damage, but I did set her down. And if you land a punch on somebody's body and they touch the floor, that's a knockdown. And that's what I did. That's what I done. I threw a jab and Kate hit the ground. So it was a knockdown. And, you know, I was even in Puerto Rico, and referees and judges have actually come up to me saying that one of the fights that was in the seminar and workshops was actually that knockdown. So again, that speaks volumes that referees are being trained about it. Like, and that was so like rewarding for me to hear that's the sort of magnitude of that knockdown not being scored. It's now being took into seminars and workshops, so referees are aware how to score an actual knockdown.
Wow, that's huge.
Yeah, it's crazy. Honestly, when I was there, it was I was like, wow, I couldn't believe it. A referee came up to me and told me that she'd done a seminar, and that knockdown was in the seminar of scoring knockdowns, which I was quite like, wow.
That's what I'm saying. That just goes to show how clean the punch landed and how clear it was to see it should have been a knockdown.
Yeah, and it set the tone of the fight as well. Like, I kind of think my head was kind of like, right, this is going to be a hard night for me. I'm not going to get no favours tonight. To be fair, I knew I wasn't going to get favours anyway. The first fight, I knew I wasn't going to get any favours, but it was a bit. I think I was better in the first fight. The second fight, I just don't think I wasn't the same. I didn't know how to get out. I had that big cut that obviously did cause a lot of damage. I was allowing her to hold me, and like, I'm not going to say I performed at my skin, because I really didn't, but it wasn't a clean fight either, no matter what anyone says. And people can say, oh, you're whinging, you're moaning, blah, 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 but I'm speaking facts. And the people that actually speak the truth and ain't scared to speak out for the truth instead of getting backlash, everyone's saying the same thing.
And after Katie won the belts back, it looks like after that things broke down between yourself and Matchroom, who you've obviously now left. Yeah. Just tell me in a nutshell about that, Chantelle, because I don't want to take up too much of your time. I've got a few more questions, obviously.
Yeah, just obviously I thought the trilogy was going to happen. I accepted less money, and it kind of like, Katie after the fight said that the trilogy would happen next. It's great for women's boxing, etc., etc. Like, she said that when she was in the ring after her victory over me. And next thing, basically accepted less money, had no terms. I accepted everything. There was nothing on my side which I was demanding. So the fight was kind of done and dusted. But then my manager rings me telling me that Katie wanted an easier fight, so she was going to face her mandatory. So obviously I was a bit like, wow, what the hell? And then a few weeks after that, she's boxing Amanda Serrano, which you see why it's a lot of money for her now, and it's a rematch with Amanda Serrano, who again was a great fight, very very good fight. A lot of people thought Amanda Serrano did win, so she does have something to prove there again. But people don't realise that she weren't going to have the trilogy before that fight was even in talks.
Yeah, exactly. You have now signed with Queensberry and Frank Warren. Tell me how that came about and why Frank is the right man to guide this next chapter of your career.
So basically, as soon as I knew that I weren't having the trilogy, we're talking 6 weeks before Matchroom done the announcement, I said to my manager, I had a comeback fight with Matchroom, and I kind of was like, what are they going to offer me? The comeback fight there was like, what am I going to do? I'm not going to get the Katie fight ever again with Matchroom, probably not. I've got like, to be honest, I didn't want to fight on a Matchroom card after the last Katie fight. And I kind of was just like, I didn't know what I was going to do. It was frustrating because it was kind of thinking, shit, I've been on top of the world and now I'm at rock bottom. Like, what am Matchroom really going to offer me? Something that I'm not really going to be interested in. It's going to be hard to get up for. I'm going to struggle. So my manager started speaking to, so I said to him, I like Frank Warren. I like the way he conducts himself. I like the way he handles business. He seems to look after his boxers very well. So I did ask my manager to open up a conversation with Queensberry, and he did that. And we were going back and forth for a very long time. And I did have a few more fighters contact to have a sit down with me, but I'm kind of a bit of a weirdo. Once I've got my mindset on something, then I don't really get distracted by other things. So I kind of already made my mind up and said to my manager, like, let's just go with Queensberry.
Okay. You did just briefly mention there, obviously, we're going to see the rematch with Taylor Serrano. How do you think that fight will go?
I was a bit disappointed for Amanda that she didn't get the 3-minute rounds, because obviously it was trailblazing with the 3-minute rounds. I think that there's a lot of women now that want to box 3-minute rounds. Personally, I would love to do 3-minute rounds, but I think Amanda said in an interview that it has to be set at 2-minute rounds. So I think it would have been great if it was 3-minute rounds on Netflix as well. I think it's going to be a great fight again, but I think it was very, very close the last time. And I don't know how the weight's going to be at 140 for Amanda Serrano. She's coming at 3 weight divisions. So I probably would edge towards Amanda Serrano because it's a most value promotions card. Amanda can bang a bit. I think, and do you know what? I actually think I took Katie Starr. I think them 2 fights we had, I think they were a lot. And she was hanging on. She was breathing real heavy. What she got left in the tank, I don't know.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see, and it's interesting what you said there about how you think that fight will go. Look, I know that Eddie Hearn came out and kind of defended himself, saying, we did do some big things for Chantelle. We got the likes of, my mind's gone completely blank now. Who's the lady that, this is so bad. Who's the lady that you boxed at the O2? I was there, completely forgot. Mary McGee. Yeah, they delivered that opportunity. Fight. Yeah, they delivered that opportunity. Yeah. I don't want to walk you into saying, bad mouthing anyone, but how do you look back on the time that you had under Matchroom? Did you feel used, Chantelle? Or, what's the general feeling?
No. You know what? I actually don't. You know what? Eddie is right with the fact that they did deliver me opportunities, but I got myself in a mandatory position way before I joined Matchroom. So I was already mandatory for a world title. I won my world title, which was behind closed doors, great. And then a tournament was made, but I've heard different things really, because I heard that it was actually made for Tasha Jonas, and then I was hearing in interviews that it was made for me. So I was kind of like, I heard different things, but you know what boxing's like. There's a lot of she said, they said, he said, so I didn't know what to believe. But obviously the tournament come about, had a great fight and a great night with Mary McGee. The tournament didn't happen because Callie Reese in the final had medical conditions, so that was a bit frustrating. I didn't blame Matchroom, but I kind of was like, I want to be active, I want to be busy, and I ended up defending my belt in London, and then got the opportunity to go Abu Dhabi, which again was a night I'll always remember. That was a great night for me, beating Jessica McCaskill's undisputed, and I had the first Katie Taylor fight and won. But let's be real, everyone wanted it to be pushed under the carpet. I wasn't meant to go to Ireland. I wasn't meant to ruin the homecoming, and I wasn't meant to beat Katie Taylor. So it I feel like nobody wanted to acknowledge what I'd done. And then I had to go back for the rematch to Dublin, which I wasn't too keen on. That's the God's honest truth. I did get solicitors to look over my contract and see could we box in a neutral location, because obviously I wanted it to be neutral and I wanted it to be a bit more equal, like a bit more fair, but it kind of was just, it would have got messy. So I just thought, you know what, I'm going to go back to Dublin. I'm going to do the rematch. And yeah, like they did, they got me opportunities, which is great. And even now, like, I have no bad feeling. I don't think I was well suited to Matchroom and Eddie Hearn, but I do think now with Frank Warren, I think this is going to be the best part of my career. I feel like I'm going to be looked after, I'm going to be promoted well, and I'm going to get opportunities again. Already they're saying that they're going to push me for my mandatory at 140 and push me to get my belts back, and they seem just as excited as I am excited, and as much as I want it, I feel like they want it too. So I feel like this is just a better relationship already. I feel like already with Frank, I feel like we're on the same playing field and we've both got the same ambitions for me.
No, that's really good. That's really positive. Just in one word, Chantelle, do you feel that the third fight with Katie will never happen? No, it will never happen. Okay. That's a shame, hopefully. And that's not on my part. That's definitely not on my part. No, for sure. Absolutely. Yeah. I know. Look, I would jump at the chance. Like I feel like the trilogy should be happening. It's one apiece. Yeah. She beat me the last fight, and it's a controversial win because people were saying it was a knockdown. It should have been a 10-8 round. It was a close fight anyway, and even Katie said after she beat me that the trilogy for women's boxing, etc. But then to just change your tune and say you want an easier fight, but then change your tune again because you got offered a massive paycheck, which I don't blame her. If that was me, I would have jumped at the chance for the paycheck as well. It's professional boxing, it's a business, and you got to make your money.
But the truth is, she'd already accepted to box the mandatory before the trilogy.
Yeah, 100%. I know that you know when you're fighting, Chantelle, but when are fans gonna hear an announcement on that?
I'm actually waiting for it to be announced, but it's July the 20th in Birmingham. I got told I can announce it anyway, so it's all
there
good.
We go. Excellent. Okay.
Yeah.
I was trying to dance around that.
Queensberry actually said to announce it at your call on Saturday.
Okay. I didn't know that. That's good to know.
July the 20th. And just down the road from me. I'm
Exactly.
absolutely buzzing.
There we go.
Birmingham's just literally 50 minutes.
Excellent. You've also had some really fiery back and forths in recent weeks with none other than Sandy Ryan. Where did that stem from, Chantelle? It's always entertaining reading those tweets, though.
You know what? I'm not ever going to entertain her by saying her name. She's a clout chaser, and she wants her name mentioned because she's got no fight. And the 147 division's hot at the moment, and they're all fighting each other, and she's been left and put aside. So not even going to give her the time and day. I'm sick of entertaining her for giving her my time anyway. She's not worth it.
Let's move on then to my final real question for you, Chantelle. It's fight week. Fury Usyk. I'm sure you want Fury to win, but how do you see the fight playing out? What's your prediction?
I am going to say Fury points decision. I think it's going to be a great fight. Massive boxing IQ. It's going to be an absolute masterclass from both boxers, but I'm going to go Tyson Fury win, maybe split.
Yeah, it's going to be a great fight, and as you say,
definitely going to be close.
Yeah, two great boxing minds at play. Just before we wrap things up, Chantelle, if you've got any closing words to the listeners, like I say, always fantastic having you back on the pod.
Thanks for listening, and I can't wait to get back in the ring and get my journey started with Frank Warren and Queensberry, and I'm really excited. I feel like the best of me is yet to come. I feel like the loss is actually a lesson, and as much as I've been getting a lot of hate lately about moaning, this, that, blah, 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 at the end of the day, I'm entitled to speak out and voice my opinion. And I think just because I am outspoken, I don't think I should be, slandered for it. Not slandered, slagged off and made out I'm something I'm not just because I'm speaking facts. I'm entitled to, and everyone else is saying it, but just doesn't say it publicly because obviously they get backlash too. Everyone's seeing what happened. Everyone knew what happened, and people just don't like anyone that speaks out. But I'm going to keep doing it, and no matter what anyone says or blah blah blah. Listen, I am outspoken. I say what I say, and I've got no regret.
There we go. And like I say, if I ever see anything on the timeline, I'm straight on it as well. I don't take any Chantelle Cameron slander at all.
Yeah. And you know what? Yeah, it makes me laugh because I just think, it's just delusion. It's such delusion and blinkers. And I just think, fair enough, I took the loss. I lost the belts, but I'm speaking facts. It's not like I'm making stuff up. So it's just crazy. It's just the world we live in.
Yeah, especially that social media world. But listen, Chantelle, it's always a pleasure. We'll keep an eye out for an opponent announcement soon. Thanks for your time, and I really hope you had a great birthday as well.
Oh, thank you. Have a good night.